And welcome back to AOA, Agriculture of America, powered by Cenex Premium Diesel and Premium Lubricants. Trust your local experts at your nearest Cenex location. They'll have the right product for your operation, or visit Cenex.com for more. As we continue here at the NAFB convention in Kansas City, Missouri, pleased to have joining us now Donnell Rehagen from Clean Fuels Alliance America. Donnell, good to see you here in KC. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jesse. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Missouri.
I know, right? Welcome back to Missouri. I feel like I've been coming to this convention 11 years now, I think, something like that. And I know you've been here many years, and you've been a friend of the show for a long time, of course, with Mike Adams and more. So it's good to sit down and catch up with you. A lot of issues to talk about. No shortage of things. Let's start with I think this could set us up well for a few different things, but obviously we have certainty with the elections now. Trump administration 2.0 coming in here in terms of biofuels policy and more. What are some things you guys are watching? What's going to be on your radar here over the next several months?
Yeah, we actually saw a lot of good growth in our industry during the first Trump administration. It wasn't without its challenges, obviously. So we were obviously keeping an eye on the EPA administrator. Representative Zeldin's been nominated for that, and he hasn't always shown himself to be a friend of renewable fuels. But I keep saying, that's 8 or 10 years ago we're talking about now, and so I think there's a lot of differences in the U.S. and the economy and agriculture from when it was from what it was like then. Mm-hmm. And I think there's just a lot more support for renewable fuels today, and that's one of our jobs. We got to continue to grow support for renewable fuels.
Absolutely. Well, and I've wondered too, and I've talked to a few people about this on the sidelines. I've said, could the incoming administration, could that mean any changes, favorable changes to, say, sustainable aviation fuel? So it's such a hot topic. We're waiting on the 45Z guidance, et cetera. So, I mean, new administration, could they be a little more friendly to this movement? Because I know there's been quite a bit of investment from the oil industry into SAF, et cetera, et cetera. Heard the comments from President Trump, drill, baby, drill, those kinds of things. Right. So, I mean, talk about that aspect with sustainable aviation fuel, on the horizon here as a next great source, for U.S. producers right now.
Yeah. I mean, the SAF industry is very intriguing. The airlines, the good news is the airlines are clamoring for more sustainable aviation fuel. So It's not like in the past where we may have been producing fuels the market might have been a little bit concerned about. That this is the exact opposite. So we have friends in the airlines looking for greater SAF production. It's a great thing for agriculture. And so 45Z and how things shake out there, especially from the standpoint of climate smart agriculture, letting U.S. farmers participate in this transition to cleaner airline fuels is going to be really, really important. And so that's our biggest issue right now as an industry. Sustainable aviation fuel, biodiesel, and renewable diesel is without the guidance for 45Z, which becomes the law of the land January 1st, we're already starting to see producers pull back on orders for feedstocks for production of fuels into January. And so that's going to be a bad thing for our industry. It's going to be a bad thing for agriculture. So we really, really need to get that guidance out so everybody knows the rules we're playing by.
And it's, a lot of folks are making those seed decisions right now for next year from a grower perspective. Yeah. And you mentioned some of those plants. I mean, we have a lot of either plants that are idling already or construction projects that were slated to have started already that haven't started because of some of this uncertainty, Donnell.
Yeah, it's you and I have spoken about this for a long time about just the need for an industry that's still growing to have some level of certainty. Investors don't make decisions lightly when there's a lot of uncertainty, and so we have tax credit uncertainty on a regular basis, and so now we have these other policies that are uncertain. The growth in the RVOs is uncertain. Mm-hmm. And that's not an inviting environment for investors. And so that's what we need to get settled. But it seems like you and I have been having that conversation for a long time.
Unfortunately, we've been having that conversation go round and round. And speaking of a round and round conversation, you mentioned RVOs. You mentioned Lee Zeldin earlier, and maybe some of his not being friendly to biofuels. We got new RVOs that we're going to have to set coming up here under this new administration. What's the outlook for that?
Yeah, well, so we should already have those RVOs for the biomass-based diesel industry. Those should have been promulgated by the 1st of November, so just a couple weeks ago, and we don't have an idea what that's going to look like. This administration has suggested they'll push a proposal out in March with the hopes of finalizing it by next December. They'll be over a year late by that point in time, and so back to this certainty conversation we just had. I mean, if we're getting RVOs the week or the month before those RVOs start, how is our industry supposed to make those decisions? And that's the reason why these guidelines, these timelines have been put in place from the beginning. So the willingness of the EPA to just ignore that and to suggest that the marketplace will have to figure it out, it's just not a fair response to an industry like ours. And again, another level of uncertainty.
So many things to watch for. I guess final thoughts from you. What would you reiterate to folks listening in here as we're looking to close out the year? We got so many of these different issues that we're waiting on, et cetera. Looking ahead to the future here, 2025 and beyond. I mean, what do you want folks to keep in mind right now?
Yeah, Jesse, we've talked about all the challenges that we have, but I'm just so excited about the future of this industry. And I look back 30 years now to where the soybean farmers of the United States gave us an assignment to make and create a new product that adds value to soybean oil. And to think now that we're a 5 billion gallon a year industry, it's almost unimaginable. And so with that, I mean, I'm going to start 2025 being extremely excited about the opportunities in front of us and grateful to the nation's soybean farmers for what they started.
Well, I know folks can find more cleanfuels.org as well. They can get signed up. You guys got a conference January, I believe.
We do. Third week of January in San Diego. Come see us in the warm climate of San Diego.
Might have to do that. That sounds very enticing. Cleanfuels.org for more. Donnell Rehagen, always good to talk with you, sir. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Jesse.